Welcome to Sci-Fi Frontier. I'm Dominic, and I'm here with my co-host,
Wally.
So this week we're going to be talking about the movie Shazam. So let's start off with each other's familiarity with this character. So, what's your background with this character? Like, how much do you know about this character? How much are you aware of this character? So, let you go first.
Well, I'm aware of the character based on the name. When I was a kid, when I used to rent videos from the old VHS copies, there used to be an animated series. I can't remember if it was called Captain Marvel and the Shazam Family or if it was just called the Shazam Family, but it was an animated feature, and that was my first introduction to this character. And I've always liked the idea of Shazam or Captain Marvel, however you want to address him, but he was just an offshoot of Superman, right? But he had a little bit, it was just a little bit different that just seemed a little bit more appealing to me when I first saw him. So, and then to see, the breakdown of his families and, each one of them have powers. And I remember in the television or the animated show that I watched, it was Uncle Dudley who never actually had the powers, but I think he was more in there for comic relief than he was anything else. And I never ever saw that show again, but I should have gone back and saw if I done a search to see if I could find it and rewatch it just for the sake of nostalgia. But never did do that, and never had the inclination to go back. But that's the first instance I've ever had of the exposure of Shazam / Captain Marvel.
So my background, the first time I've ever heard of Shazam is, I remember my cousin had wallpaper with Superman and Shazam on it. And that was the first time I can remember seeing Shazam. And so whatever I know about Shazam is just whatever, anytime he's ever made a guest appearance in any of the DC comics that I was collecting. I didn't see any of those Shazam cartoons or anything like that. And the other thing that I'm kind of familiar with was I read about the background of how Shazam was created by Fawcett Comics, and then he was actually outselling Superman in the 40s, and then DC put a stop to it by suing Fawcett Comics. And then later on, Fawcett Comics actually sold the character to DC.
Yeah, that sounds similar to what
So that's about my extent, but I don't know much about the lore or anything. So when I went into this movie, I went into it as someone who does know a lot about Shazam.
That's fair.
So what was your overall thoughts on this movie?
Well, when I first started hearing about this movie coming out, I thought, oh my god, this is going to be a nice new offshoot of Superman, something to really get behind and just see something a little bit differently. And then, I started seeing some of the still shots and then looking at the suit, and I was just like, wow, does that look like a padded muscle suit? And that was what a lot of people were saying, like, is this a padded muscle suit? Like, this movie's going to be garbage. And yeah, I really wasn't looking forward to it. I was really very, very skeptical based on what it was. And then when I saw, I can't remember the actor's name.
Was that Zachary?
Not
Levi?
Zach. Yeah, Zachary Levi, is that the...
I think that's his name.
Yeah, I believe he played Chuck in the TV series Chuck. That was a really good series, but it was more of a comedy action based. And then when I saw him as Marvel, I was like, well, I'm not sure if this is exactly what I was hoping this was going to turn out to be, because you heard all the rumors back in the day before Ryan Reynolds became Green Lantern that Jack Black was cast as a Green Lantern, and what they were going to do. And I was like, oh, here we go, we're gonna butcher a potentially good superhero movie and turn it into just a farce. You know what I mean? Like, seeing how the Superman movies, like the newer Superman movies, are so dark.
Yeah, so dark.
And then to put this out here is just going to be just like a slap in the face to it. But, after going to see it...
So were you surprised?
I was very surprised. I enjoyed it far more than I thought I was going to. You know, his main villain is Black Adam, and then we've got this talk of Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock,
doing a Black Adam movie.
Black Adam movie. Now, obviously, these two characters or paths are going to have to cross. Now, can you see this Black Adam movie turning into the type of movie that Shazam was? No, I can't. So I don't know how well this is going to clash. You know, can we turn Zachary Levi into a very not so comic-esque style character and turn him into a very serious role? Like, these two guys can throw down, right? I mean, you know, if you haven't seen the movies, spoiler alert.
Yeah, there's going to be spoilers in this.
Unfortunately, we're just going to give everybody a warning. If you haven't seen it, maybe shut it off now. But that being said, here we go. You know, at the end of the movie, you know, when he goes into the cafeteria to see his friend there, he says, "Yeah, I brought another friend," and then you get the cameo of Superman.
Yeah, Superman.
Well, you didn't get a full. You saw somebody in a Superman suit, but that's all you saw. But you know, they've had a really good couple of clashes that, you know, destroy buildings, and you know, like, can you see the two of them clashing?
Yeah, it's he in the comics he's on par with Superman as far as power levels.
Power levels, yes. I mean, yes, Captain Marvel or Shazam is more magic based, so that's a vulnerability to Superman. But you know, when it just comes down to it, I just don't know if the two of these are going to cross over as well as, you know, like, will we see a Superman Shazam clash? Maybe if they do a Justice League 2 movie and they introduce him in there, maybe maybe they could do a clash. You know, there's famous TV shows like Justice League Unlimited, where they introduced the Captain Marvel into the Justice League, and you know, a whole bunch of misunderstandings and, you know, distrust between Superman, Lex Luthor, and Captain Marvel's in the middle of it, and he ends up fighting Superman, blah blah blah. Are we going to see that transition again? I don't know if we're going to see that, but you know, this Black Adam movie, could you see a Superman cameo? Yeah, there was that whole Superman Shazam animated feature that they did. Another fantastic show. That was a really good one. I just don't know if they're going to, you know, are they going to collide well? You know, can you fit one with the other and get so serious on one side and so lighthearted and funny on the other and make it work?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. So my overall, I didn't know what to think of this. The trailer I thought was pretty good. It looked funny, but I was actually really entertained by this movie. I thought it was really fun.
Absolutely, it was
really colorful, and I think it's a nice change of tone for the DC, because all the ones have been pretty dark, like Batman versus Superman, and then
the Batman
Superman, the Man of Steel, and all that. You know, they've all been pretty dark. So this is kind of a nice turn, and and it kind of reminded me, the way the whole thing played out reminds me of almost like a 90s superhero movie. Pretty colorful, not taken too seriously, you know, pretty light. Yeah. That's what it made me think of when I watched it. And I kind of like the whole magical part of the character with all the magical. He's kind of got like an interesting background with the magical lore. He gets his powers from the wizard, and that other kid who wasn't worthy ends up stealing the powers, and he fights him and stuff. Yeah. I was actually surprised that they actually brought in the whole family at the end of the movie there when they all got the power of Shazam. Yeah,
I wasn't sure if I was kind of hoping that was going to show up in the movie, but I was kind of hoping that maybe they'd save that for like maybe a second or a third part kind of thing. You know, because again, if you haven't seen the movie, spoiler warnings, you do see a Shazam family. Yeah. Now, excuse me, I don't know a whole lot about how they all broke their powers down, but it all seemed to me like they all seemed to get one power, and then that's what they
kind of did
with.
Seem
now,
that way. Yeah.
To me, from what I understand, I don't read these DC comics, but from what I know of Mary Marvel, which they really didn't showcase her at all to my understanding, she's just about the same as Captain Marvel, maybe just not as powerful. But,
I think she's,
But all of the other brothers and sisters there, they all seem to have one version of his powers. One has speed, one has strength, one has, like, one for each letter of the word Shazam, right? So, so is that how they're breaking it down?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to see how they do it, because I don't know how it goes in the comics.
Yeah.
I have to see how it would work in a sequel. So the guy that played Shazam, I thought he did a pretty good job.
Absolutely. I was pleasantly surprised by his performance.
Yeah. The only thing, the costume, I think they almost look like they padded it too much.
I would agree with you on that. Like, even just looking at the picture,
like they could have toned down maybe like the shoulders, or something seemed too big, or something.
It just doesn't look like
natural muscle. It looks padded.
Like you look at the Superman suit and how Henry Cavill's actually, he went through and he's done all the workouts and everything like that. Like he's his arms and body is physically
he's actually in shape.
In shape to look like that. But this one just looks a little.
Yeah, like you wouldn't need to work out at all. Like you could jump inside that thing.
Yeah, exactly, right. So okay, I get the premise. He's jumping from a kid to an adult body, but
I think they could have done a bit better of a job on like the pad, but the way the costume looks, the design of the costume is cool.
Yeah, you're right.
The lightning bolt and all that's cool. It's just I thought the shoulders were almost padded out too much.
Yeah.
To the point where it looked fake.
Yeah.
Like it looked padded.
The other thing that bothers me is this is the new Captain Marvel design. Now, to me, I hate that hood that he wears. That just annoys me.
Yeah, that's a new 52 thing.
Yeah, I just do not like that. Now, yes, granted, his old cape is just a half cape that kind of sits
with
over his shoulders. The collar, and then it's almost like a high-rise collar that just goes, or kind of like a Doctor Strange-esque kind of look.
Yeah.
The way his cloak sits on his shoulders, kind of thing. But I mean, it did work for this. I mean, yeah, okay. When you see this character, he's gonna resemble Superman. You're gonna kind of want to see a cape that kind of flows like that. But the hood annoys me. I think that's dumb. I don't even like it in the comics.
Yeah. So what do you think of the villain in this?
I don't think he was a bad choice. I don't know if I would have used him first. You know what I mean? Like, I really expected.
Well, I was
Black Adam.
I was expecting The Rock to be in this one. That's what I thought when I first heard about this, and The Rock playing the Black Adam. I thought The Rock was going to be the main villain in this.
Well, that was the whole thing. Is the Black Adam's just trying to get the power of Shazam for himself from the Wizard, from Billy Batson. Like that's the whole thing, right? Like he doesn't want him to have the power. He wants the power. He wants to be. Yeah,
all the power to himself. Well, no, they set it up for the Black Adam in this. They kind of gave the backstory and stuff.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, for sure, it was in there, the telling of the Wizard.
So, did you like this more than Aquaman, or?
I enjoyed Aquaman. Now, I don't think we did a review of Aquaman.
No, we didn't do one of Aquaman. No.
But maybe we'll do one in the next.
We'll do one down the road, yeah.
But just to reference it to it, I don't think I could really compare the two of them. I enjoyed both of them. I really have a distaste for Aquaman in the comics.
Same here. Yeah, I'm not a fan, but I really did like the movie though.
Yeah, I thought it turned out very well for the type of character that he was. Jason Momoa is.
Yeah, he was good.
He was just a good cast. I mean, even the fact that they put him into that orange and green with the belt buckle and everything, like he fit it well. Like I was in complete shock at how well that worked. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. The Black Manta, was a little off-putting to me, but I expected him. I figured they would do something a little different, but the fishbowl. They stayed true to what the Black Manta looked like. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I did like Aquaman more than Shazam. I found still Aquaman to be pretty lighthearted in tone compared to the Man of Steel, but then Shazam was even more light than Aquaman. Like, it was more funny, more comedic, and a very comedic. Like, they took it in a very comedic direction. Now, I don't think Shazam is that comedic in the actual comics, so I think he's taken more serious than that.
He is.
So I don't know how, if you know a lot about Shazam and you collect a lot of the Shazam comics, I don't know how you'd feel about this film.
Well, I'm sure it's the same with anybody, right?
Like, if they did this with Captain America, made a funny Captain America movie, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would probably have issues with it.
Yeah.
If they went that way. I think they're trying to keep that lightheartedness to show that even though he's in the body of a man, he's still
a boy,
right? So I think that's kind of what they had to do. Like, he's just unsure of himself.
Mm-hmm.
I think if these movies progress into a 2 and a 3, I think they're going to get a little less. I would expect them to get a little less comedic.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they do another Justice League and he's on the roster of the next Justice League movie. That'll be interesting to see.
Yes.
How his character is handled.
Well, just to go back to, based on your question there, between which one I would have preferred between Aquaman and Shazam, if the two movies are sitting in front of me right now, I would probably go more to the Shazam one personally first, and then the Aquaman. I have a funny feeling I'd rather rewatch Shazam first over an Aquaman. Nothing against the Aquaman movie; it was again very good. But just to answer your question, I think I would watch the Shazam first. I think over Aquaman. I think it was I enjoyed it just a little bit more. I think, but
yeah,
both very good films.
Oh yeah, both pretty solid superhero movies.
So
as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, as for the main villain, I thought he did a pretty good job. And one thing I was actually kind of surprised, because I wasn't expecting at all, it was Mr. Mime being in this movie.
Well, I did kind of expect that, because I really thought, like, again, I don't really know the backstory for Mr. Mind and the main villain. We should really
Doctor,
get prepared. Doctor, whatever his name is, Doctor. But I thought the two of them were kind of one and the same.
Yeah, maybe they're leading into that, because they set up the
I don't know.
The
That's
post-credit scene has Dr. Mime with a little box so he can talk to the guy and stuff. It's like
Mr. Mime.
Or Mr. Mime,
but he already had the ability to talk, right? So he's that little speaker box. So there's probably going to be a little bit more of an origin story, but I think, are they going to use him as the mastermind for the end of the trilogy? Would that be what they're doing? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But I kind of like that they didn't shy away from any of the craziness from the old Captain Marvel comics. They went full on ahead with
exactly
with the demons and the little worm guy and everything. So
exactly.
I got really I thought it was a really fun movie, and overall I enjoyed it. There wasn't really anything I didn't like about the movie. I think I was fairly thoroughly entertained.
Yeah, it was absolutely a good entertaining movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not to compare it against Avengers, but this was on before the Avengers, and it was something to just kind of tide yourself over
until
the Avengers came out. So
again,
sorry DC fans, but that's really for what everybody was really waiting on.
I kind of think that might have hurt the box office for this one, because it was sandwiched between Captain Marvel and Endgame.
It was.
It only had like 2 weeks on its own there, and I think if I were them, I would have waited, either released it after a month or so after Endgame.
Yeah, I think that's the case too, and
I think probably might have done better. I think
it might have. I mean, this movie was still better than Captain Marvel, in my opinion.
Yeah, I liked it better than Captain
Marvel. Nothing against the Captain Marvel movie. This was just a little bit.
It was just more fun.
It was just more fun to watch this one.
Yeah,
so.
It was a fun movie.
Yep.
I guess that's everything we can say about this one. I would definitely, if you're into superhero movies, I would recommend this one.
Yeah,
See
it's
this one.
it's definitely worth a watch. If you don't want to see it in the theaters, that's fine. It doesn't need to be in 3D. Just see it in regular D, cheap night. That'd be fine.
Yeah.
It should be out on DVD in probably the next couple of months, based on where we are right now. So it's definitely worth a watch. It was fun.
Yeah, no, I think so too. So that's everything we got to say in this video. Let us know what you think in the comments section, and we will see you at the next one. Thank you to all of my subscribers, and thank you for watching this video. And if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification when new videos are uploaded.